Hi friends! Today I'm going to be showing you one of my most frequently used techniques for filling in flower petals. Florals are one of my absolute favorite things to embroider, so this will be a good one. Before I even start stitching, I will draw my flower design out on my fabric, and inside each individual petal I will create guidelines for myself. While the guidelines are a completely optional step, it's one I highly recommend. These guidelines will make it simple for you to make sure that your stitches are consistent and evenly spaced as you continue to fill in each petal. Before I start filling in, I'm going to outline each petal with a back stitch. The back stitch is going to create a barrier for you so that you don't overextend the stitches that you'll be laying down, and just makes everything look tidy and even in preparation for your filled in stitches. Once you have this outline complete, you're going to be using a type of stitch called the long and short stitch. As the name suggests, this is going to feature a combination of long and short stitches laid closely together to create a filled in effect. This is kind of a sister or a cousin of the satin stitch, but this staggered stitch is going to enable you to seamlessly blend various colors. For petals, I like to use anywhere from 2 to 3, sometimes even 4, depending on how large the flower is. All these different colors are going to add dimension to your flower petal. I always start with my lightest color on the ends, and then I slowly fade into a darker color as I get closer to the center of my stitch. So again, using these guidelines, I'm going to evenly space out, alternating between long and short stitches, and I'm going to make sure that each stitch I lay down is close together so there's no gapping. Once I have my outer layer laid down, I'm going to switch colors with kind of a medium transition color. I'm going to repeat this staggered process until I have filled in my next layer. Because these are alternating lengths, the new stitches in this next layer are going to kind of lock into the initial stitches that you created, almost like a zipper. I'm going to repeat this again with my final color that's going to bleed into the center of my flower. So as you can see, this is blending quite nicely. I'll just fill in my last couple of stitches until I get the desired look. And then once I have this final step complete, I'm going to work on the center of my stitch. By the time I get to the center of my stitch, I have the option to change colors again, but a lot of the time I will just make the center of my flower the same color as this innermost darkest color that I'm using on the petal. Either way, it's going to look beautiful, but I would recommend making sure that your center is either even darker than this or the same color as that innermost layer with the long and short stitches. For this center, I'm going to just be using some French knots. So I think I used 3 French knots here. This will fill in the space quite nicely while also adding texture and dimension, and it will kind of replicate what the center of real flowers actually look like.